Do you ever sit back and think to yourself, because I'm sure there's a part of you like everyone where you think, I'm just a regular guy and things just went together. And now you view like Dana White, you're speaking at the Republican convention, you're friends with the president, regardless of your politics. It's still unbelievable that you're on speed dial with a president of the United States. Do you ever sit back and think to yourself like, holy shit, I did this, and like take a minute to like soak it all in and enjoy it?
Yeah, you know what? Every once in a while, Lorenzo Fertitta and I, whether we're drinking or whatever it'll be, we'll end up calling each other and going, when you start lining up everything the way that it laid out, it's fascinating.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
super happy to see someone from Boston. It's almost very relatable where I'm like, I think you're a couple years older than me. I just turned 50, but I look at you and I'm like, man, that guy just took the opportunity and like kicked ass all the way to the top. It's awesome. I'm really happy for you. So I don't want to be too much of an ass kisser, but congratulations.
No, you know what? That's Boston, baby. That's fucking Boston. You know who, of all people, you know who calls me and tells me shit like that all the time is Bob Kraft. Bob Kraft is yeah. I love the fact that you're a Boston guy and you did this and you did that. I got Bob Kraft telling me that. I'm like, you've done pretty fucking well for yourself too. You know what I mean? So, that's Boston, man. That's how Boston people treat Boston people.
Half of them will celebrate you, the other half will wish death on you. It's pretty standard.
All for that, Dana. Since there was a certain name that was mentioned a couple minutes ago in the middle of that conversation, I obviously don't know you well. Met you a couple times and know who you are, but you have a trait that I think you have, I believe you have, that I do admire. I think it's one of the most important traits actually for a person. It's the trait of loyalty. And early on with the UFC's infancy, there wasn't a lot of places that would allow you into a venue with the UFC. And quite frankly, you weren't allowed. The commissions in New York wouldn't allow the fights. I remember when that was going on in different places. And Donald Trump allowed you into, if my memory serves me right, into the Taj Mahal.
That's right.
And you never forgot that. I mean, you obviously was very helpful to you to bring you in when other people were closing their doors to the UFC product. And you wound up obviously campaigning for him in 2016, and then later on when he bid again for the re-election, and you've been loyal to him since. Talk about that.
Yeah, so when we first bought this thing had such a bad stigma attached to it that venues didn't even want us to come there. So if you think about the time, the Trump brand is here. The UFC brand is, down here. And he got it. He loved it. And he said, we'd love to have you here at the Taj Mahal. Cut us a great deal. Showed up for the first fight of the night and stayed till the last fight of the night. Watched the whole show, both the shows that we did at the Taj. And then after that, every good thing that ever happened to me in my career, Trump would reach out of the blue and say, congratulations, I'm so happy for you. I knew you guys were going to make it. You this, that, and all this stuff. Couldn't be a nicer guy. Then he calls me up and says, I would like you to speak for me at the convention. Everybody, and I mean fucking everybody, told me not to do it. Don't do this. This. You shouldn't get into politics. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. I'm like, are you crazy, man? All the stuff that this guy, the guy that this guy has been to me for the last 20 years. Oh, and just for the record, when Trump called me, he said, listen, if you don't want to do this, I completely understand. And it's no big deal. But I would be honored if you would speak at the convention. Yeah. There's no fucking way in hell I'm not doing that for him. Then once I spoke and our friendship went to a whole nother level, and, you couldn't ask for a more stand-up. Ask anybody who's ever known Trump, has been friends with him for years. Everybody loves him.
Well, like I said, to me, loyalty is, if I had one If I had a choice of having a person around me, or even a fighter, to be quite frankly, with one trait, it would be that trait, because I believe there's power to that trait. Because
I'm with you.
That's it. I just believe that. I believe that to be loyal to someone, you have to be strong. You have to be able to sacrifice. You have to be able to risk yourself. That's strength. That's strength. When I say even fighters, you know the fight I think of, Dana, right away? That didn't come far from you guys. Marvin Hagler.
Yeah.
That guy was loyal to the Petronelli brothers, and a lot of people, I happen to know for a fact, begged him, tried to convince him to get away from them. He never, ever would do that.
That's incredible.